and Kevin Martin's team. They come to Newfoundland and Labrador to be crowned the Masters of Curling. And it's next. It is the Grand Slam of Curling on Rogers Sportsnet. And the tour has come east to Mile One Stadium in St. John's, Newfoundland. It is the Newfoundland and Labrador Masters of Curling. The total purse is $100,000, 30 to the champion. And I don't think it asks for a better matchup inside the stadium than what we have for you tonight. The crowd is ready. The snow has stopped, thankfully, and we are ready to go. Hi, everybody. Alongside Marilyn Bodo, I'm Rob Pauls. I have no idea who the guy is on the end. Apparently, you only contracted for one event per weekend. Ed Lukowicz has joined us. He was able to fight through the snow to get here. Ed, of course, was part of the U.S. team in Italy. They won a bronze, by the way. Ed, you may have missed it. Canada won the gold. Nice to have you with us. We are ready to go. It's an all-Alberta matchup. It is Kevin Martin against Randy Ferbey. And Ed, let's talk about Kevin Martin, incredibly talented team.
Well, for sure. But you look at this year, they're only third place on the money standings, but they've had some big wins over the last while, winning the Canada Cup and Kamloops, and recently they won the Alberta Provincials. So they'll go back to the Brier again for the first time since Saskatoon in 2000. Very talented team, and they love to play the Slam Finals.
And Randy Ferbey, what can you say about this squad, Marilyn? They pretty much owned the Canadian title the last few years.
Winning Brier championships 4 years in a row. Randy Ferbey himself winning 6 Canadian titles. What else can you ask more? I think they won a Grand Slam title here tonight, though. That's the only thing that really eludes this team. They lost to Kevin Martin last year in Winnipeg. Could it be their night tonight? Ooh, Randy Ferbey, he's going to look good tonight.
Well, we've got two Alberta teams going head-to-head, and how do they match up against one another? A bit of a surprising number when you take a look at the graphic right now, as you see that Kevin Martin has had the advantage.
Well, no doubt, and I think from, you know, who gets more serious for whom here, I think it's the Kevin Martin team that really gets sky high for playing against the Ferbey team. And when you look at Slam Finals, Martin's only ever lost once before in 7 tries, so they really do get sky high for Slam Finals.
Marilyn, how do you handicap this match?
Well, you know, Randy Ferbey is not going to the Brier Championship this year. Kevin Martin is. I don't think Randy Ferbey has anything to lose in this game. It could be his.
Well, we've got all Alberta, so we can tell you one thing without any hesitation. It will be an Alberta team that wins the Newfoundland and Labrador Masters of Curling. Two great ones in Ferbey and Martin, and they're going head-to-head here at Mile One. Next. Here in St. John's, Newfoundland, they got belted, and we have heard that at the airport they had 70 centimeters of snow yesterday. Winds over 100 kilometers, and so that has wreaked havoc with the organization here, but they've done a pretty nice job, and this team has done a pretty good job as well. Randy Ferbey's squad with David Nedewin throwing the final stone, Scott Pfeiffer and Marcel Rock, and they're 22-3 with the hammer this season. As for the Martin squad, 6-3 without the hammer on the tour this year. Walchuk is the veteran third, Carter Rycroft at second. And this man, the lead, Don Bartlett, has been with Kevin Martin all along. Ready for this championship match. Kevin Martin has the blue stones, Randy Ferbey the yellow rocks. And on the draw to the button, it was Ferbey covering the pin, and he has the hammer in end one. Earlier today, it was Randy Ferbey defeating Glenn Howard 9-6. Kevin Martin over Sean Adams 8-5.
Well, I think they're just going to go all out here. It's going to be bar no hold everything. Don't you think, Ed?
Well, these teams absolutely love to play against each other, and I don't know if we really call it just a love affair. There's a lot of animosity with these two teams over the years, and so it's always a bitter struggle when they face head-on.
Well, they're tremendous foes on the ice, but, you know, certainly there is respect, and when all is fair in love and war.
So the first Bartlett stone into the rings.
Take a look.
Marcel Rock in turn, and they're going to the corner guard right away, and you expect that with these teams. You know, they're not going to wait to go on offense. They're going to create something as soon as they can.
Of course, while Marcel is playing here at a Grand Slam event, his wife Raylene is playing at the Scott Torrent Hearts.
And looking at the rules of play here World Curling Tour, the 4-rock rule in effect in the free guard zone. Each team has 73 minutes to do their magic into 1-minute timeouts.
Line's a little tight.
Well, we'll certainly see how big that draw to the button to start this game was. And Kevin Martin was an inch away from covering the pin, and Dave Nedwin in his draw totally covered the pin. And he's been good at that lately. In the semi-final against Glenn Howard, they actually had to go to a third draw after both skips covered the pin on consecutive tries.
Center guard.
Really high and curled over a little bit too much, which will give Randy that chance for a hit and roll.
Up or down? Bumper down?
Yeah.
Marcel, teacher.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Riverbend Junior High.
Whoa, up.
Playing this quietly on the in turn, looking for the hit and roll. These two teams are very good sweeping teams, and this Ferbey team,
Yep.
probably the top sweeping team in the world.
Oh, and a nice bump and roll.
What great control of weight. They're right on the money tonight. What I like, Ed, about them is the pace of the game.
And $100,000 total prize money. $30,000 to the champion. The second place team takes home $18,000. Those that were in the semifinals earlier today each take $12,000 home. And this championship match will have an effect on the money winning list. World Curling Tour.
Well, yep. Hard.
Carter Rycroft playing soft weight on the in turn. He'll snag a bit of that guard and roll over away to the opposite side.
We saw that in the semifinal game when Glenn Howard and Randy Ferbey were having problems on that in-turn side, always hitting the guards, just over curling.
4-5.
Sixth year with Randy Ferbey, Scott Pfeiffer.
Yep.
5. Line only. Yep. 5. Line's good. Line only. Whoa.
We're by.
Whoa. 5, 6.
Top one.
6.
Well, they'd like to keep it real high.
Whoa.
Almost coming out the other end there.
Normal.
Well, Mr. Lukowicz, we really appreciate you joining us for this championship match. Weather kind of socked you in, got as far as Montreal, but how was your Olympic experience?
Oh, definitely fantastic. You know, from the point of view of staying in the village, that was really great. And the curling, working with the Pete Fenson team from the USA on the men's side, the bronze medal for them is really a huge thing for USA curling. And congratulations to the Gushu team as well. They played so well in the semifinals and finals.
This place was in motion on Friday, as you can imagine.
They missed you on George Street a little bit, Ed.
Well, any medal in the Olympics is a fantastic medal, and a gold, a silver, a bronze. Also, Markku Uusipaavalniemi from Finland getting the silver in the men's. Fantastic. The Clydebrink gals from Calgary, of course, played great, and they had a tough game in the semis, but boy, they sure rebounded in a fantastic one against Norway and to win the bronze.
Well, curling certainly has taken a much higher profile, and I think the fact that we have two North American teams on the podium on the men's side, one on the women's side, is a great indication, a great opportunity for curling to take another stride in North America.
Yeah, and there was a couple of surprising things, like the Peter Lindholm team, who's won 3 Worlds before, won their first 3 and then lost 6 in a row and not to qualify. And then we saw the Norway team, who's always been a lot of our slams, Paul Schultz, and not qualifying as well. So there were some surprises, too. And we knew from the USA side that we were going to have to say no to some great teams if we were going to make the playoffs.
Well, here is Don Walchuk. A little pace here as they look at the 2 Yellowstones.
A man who doesn't like playing doubles, hardly at all. Here we go.
Hard right up.
Just misses it.
First in.
First in jitters. Not quite getting that one, and Ferbey will have a chance to play a second one high in the ring, undercover.
Well, Walchuk in the semifinal game was shooting at 70% after 9, as opposed to his opposing vice Paul Fleming was shooting 90%. So there's something a little missing there, probably, in Mr. Walchuk's game.
going to the open side here, not coming around the center. Well, that's a lot of respect for your opponent. You know, against a weaker team, they'd come around the center guard and challenge Walchuk and Martin to play a run back, but they know how good they're at those, so they're going to the side instead. You have to know your opponent and what they can really make.
Well, there's so much competition between these two teams. They both rise to the occasion.
Well, there certainly is a bit of a teaser throwing that one to the side, and they're thinking, well, if Kevin Martin wants to chase that and give us the automatic deuce, fine, but Martin's going for the one under cover. Probably a surprise to Ferbey.
Not too drawn in there, yeah, taking a chance. I don't mind that. Well, because if he makes this, he'll roll behind that blue one.
Now, that wasn't normally what you'd call a Ferbey type of shot, going to the side there. Usually they really try to put it to the other team.
Well, we're frozen out
As
there.
you can see, there is some room there. Not a whole lot, though.
Not a whole lot. We'll be playing softer weight at this. Don Walchuk came down between shots just to make sure he's got the right sort of communication. He knows how important this first end is. They do not have the hammer.
Oh, clean. Yep. Hard. Hard.
Carter Rycroft putting everything he's got into it.
Whoa, 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 whoa. No roll, no roll,
Gets
no roll.
through and rolls behind cover.
Okay.
Excellent.
Well, let's take a look at the split times brought to you by AMJ Campbell Van Lines.
And that's the time we look for when a person's coming out with their draw weight for a button. They were looking for 3.8 seconds from back line to the first hog line when the player releases the stone. If they go through the zone quicker, less time, that means there's more weight on the stone. The sweepers use that too. They generally use stopwatches to time the weight of the ice as the player's coming out of the hack.
No.
Ferbey playing the run back.
Makes it great.
Makes the double.
Now they've lost the end, though. They lost that advantage. They had to go for 2 or 3 in the first end.
Well, you're right, Ed. And when you make shots like this, and you can't stick around any place, that's why maybe he put it out to the wing there. He knew that was going to
I see
happen.
that. Such a long guard that he can get it out, though.
And Walchuk may not have had great percentages, but he made a good shot on his last one there on the first end to get his skipper out of trouble.
What do you think?
I don't mind it.
I mean, very worst, I guess he hits. We're drawn for 1.
It's just amazing, too. And having these mics on the players just tells us how many shots they are ahead.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Well, he'd like to stay to it, at least force Nedwin to think about playing the head.
And look at him just stick around the edge.
Very lively houses. They're playing very, very fast.
15-3 all time in World Curling Tour Finals for Kevin Martin. Now, you're right. He likes to get to the big games.
That is a stellar record. Ferbey team not at all interested in hitting that side when they're saying we've got the hammer, we're going for the deuce, going in behind the center guard. And you wouldn't expect anything less of this team.
Of course not.
Nope. They did. They did.
That's enough.
That's what I was wondering.
It's going to be
all right.
It's going to be a lot of late.
It should be all right.
Okay. Nail it. That'll be top 12.
It's just amazing how quickly 9 years can go by. We've won that much.
5.
5's good.
5.
Room.
7. For line. Line's good.
Room.
Crawl there. Clean.
A lot of room.
Curl.
Well, they'd be interested in anything top 4 or better, a little higher.
5. Whoa, whoa.
Oh, room.
Yep.
Go.
Yeah.
There's a nice little bend.
Whoa.
Very good shot. And even if Martin freezes to that, the 4-foot will be available for Dave Nedwin to get 2 in his last stone.
Tremendous sweeping ice on this. You see as they cross the hog line.
Where is there?
Lots of swoopage there, Ed.
They wanted to keep this away from the button in case Martin decided to freeze it, but he'll play the run back.
All-time Grand Slam finals have been kind to the Kevin Martin team. 5-1.
He's taken an inch of ice off the center of the stone.
Yep. Hard. Real hard. Real hard. Hard, guys. Come on.
Will it move?
Now leaving the house open for a draw for 2.
And Nedwin having a look at this possible double roll-in. Yeah, they're going to play
They're
it.
going to give it a shot.
Yeah, can he outscore the blue one over there?
What?
It'll be interesting to see
You think it's
how
easily
much
there? Oh, come on,
curl it takes and
Come on, let's go.
the way the handles go.
And it is the first end, so
I believe you. Well, I don't
give
want
it a shot.
I'll make sure you guys are okay.
Sir.
Nicely done, Ed. Very good work with the telestrator. We let Marilyn use the telestrator once, and things went
I would have
awry.
done a different job on that. I
So
would
those-
put
those-
the rock
That?
showing.
You did great. Those two circles were actually my eyes.
Those are your eyes?
Just sure you let them know the weight. So.
Well, they went down, took one more look at it. Just want to make sure that the front end was happy with the decision, and they said, yeah, okay.
Well, I'm pretty sure that he's going to have to throw backline weight, but the sweepers will be very alert on this stone to make sure that if they hit that dead on or go by it, they're not going right through the rings and get forced to one.
Very aggressive call, but this is the way these two teams play. They know that there's not many opportunities that a split for three can happen.
And going across the top of it, they will get a little bit more action after contact on that shooter.
Viper and Rock working
Crossing the
hard,
face.
and it just nips in, but only for two instead of three.
Kevin not pleased.
So a deuce for the yellow. Ferbey leading Martin 2-0. Curling tour that has made the most money on the Grand Slam events. And it will all wrap up in Calgary. The Founders Trophy will be presented. The Players Championship will have quarterfinal, semifinal, and final action for you April 15th and 16th. It's at Stampede Corral in Calgary, Eddie's hometown. 403-269-9822 for ticket information or ticketmaster.ca. And the entire crew will be staying in Ed's basement as part of the trip to Calgary. We're looking forward to it.
Bunk beds.
Yeah.
And Judy's cooking us dinner.
And of course, it's a very
Lots of room.
special Players Championship because it's both
Line's
men
good, lots of room.
and
Only guys,
women.
too much
And a
room.
great opportunity to see
Too
the
much
best
room. We're on the
curlers,
guard.
both
No,
sides,
We're on the guard.
men and women, in one place at one time.
Hey,
It'll be fun.
line's good,
I know the women are
line's pretty
looking
good.
forward to it.
And it'll be the first time since, I do believe, someone
Who's
might
in there?
phone to correct, but the last time curling was held in the Corral in Calgary was 1983 when Ed Wernick won $60,000 first prize, which was the biggest first prize ever till that point in time.
A deuce for the Ferbey foursome in the first end.
Yeah, no, we're all there.
And it wasn't a happy Kevin
Line's
Martin,
pretty
you know.
good. Line
He
only,
seemed
line
to
only. No, no,
chastise
no
his
line.
team in the before the opening there when they
Yeah, we're
lost the
bumping.
draw to the button.
Oh.
Well, he was an inch short of, covering the screw hole, and then of course that's just enough opening, and David Netawin just covered the whole pin.
And then not having the hammer there, Martin didn't make the run back, gave up an early deuce.
And we saw the stats too, how things shape up for the Ferbey team with the hammer and tour this year.
Well, you'd think with the four-rock rule that the hammer would not be as big a deal, but it really is still in the game, and you love to have the last rock in that opening end.
It's a bit of a surprising number for Carter Rycroft, 80% through the semifinals and ranked
He's
7th
good.
among
Hard.
the seconds here
Hard.
in St. John's.
Good slide there, really had his foot in a good position.
Well.
Punches one of the yellows out.
Well, but this is a different Kevin Martin than we're used to seeing, a number of years ago, like 7, 8 years ago. Kevin doesn't get too rattled nowadays when he's 2 or 3 down early. And remember the one slam where he was 5 down against Stoughton and came back and won that, and so.
Well, we were going to mention that during our broadcast, but Jeff Stoughton was in your seat. We thought maybe it wasn't the right.
It wasn't
mention.
appropriate. Although we were calling him Eddie half the time too.
Well, the Stoughton has played fantastic on the tour this year and won the province of Manitoba to be going back to the Brier as well.
There's a nice double.
Well, this one was well representative with teams going to the Brier. When you think you had the Howard squad, you've got Martin, got Simmons.
And the Brier this year has 6 of the top 18 world-ranked teams in it, so it's a good field.
And repeats from last year, Rod
Line's
McDonald,
good. It's all there, I think, isn't it?
Jean-Michel Menard,
Simmons
Whoa,
from
then,
Saskatchewan.
Mark
Bye,
Dacey's
bye,
going
easy.
back.
Lots of weight. Okay.
Jeff Stoughton winning the World Championships in 1996.
That's fine.
2006 could be lucky for him.
Was your buddy, 96?
Yep, that's my buddy.
Well, you were close again, Marilyn. Semi-finals of Ontario.
Semifinals of Ontario again.
Nice run.
Yep, great play sport, Francis.
And you beat the Ontario champion, didn't you? Jen Hanna, how many? Twice?
Jen Hanna beat her in the last round robin game and 3-4 game.
Shortstop, the real worst.
And of course, the Scott underway in London, Ontario.
And my sister Christine Jurgensen is playing the finals with the BC Senior Championships as we speak right now.
Well, it's not the Scott anymore. Haven't they changed it to the Colleen? 20th year?
I don't know if they've made the official title change yet.
Hard! All the way hard! Hard! Oh.
And trying to get things lined up.
Nice shot.
This is probably pretty good.
We go there, guards again.
Yeah, we'll see what Martin is up to here.
This is called a sneaky way of trying to get 3. Pull your attention away from the forefoot so you can divert your opposition over there, and while you play on the forefoot after.
Building an end.
We saw this same kind of end build with Glenn Howard this afternoon, and Glenn just missed the hit and roll. Otherwise, it's a different ball game.
Be all there.
Okay.
Line only.
Lot of weights. Lot of weights.
The important thing about this
Back
rock
ball.
is
Lot of
it
weights.
can't set up a double,
Well,
and
if
it's
it
got to
dies,
be
line's
buried.
perfect.
Well, it's there all by itself and more.
Behind the tee line.
Okay.
Encouraged out a little further by Dave Nedwin.
Would like to have been third shot.
A little bit deep there for Walchuk. And one thing I discovered at the Olympics is that the WCF and Canadian rules aren't still 100%. You know, we thought a few years ago they were going to just meld all these rules and make them perfect.
No.
Well, the Olympics, the acting skip is the only one who can sweep behind the
the
pin.
tee line.
They
Doesn't make
still don't
sense.
have it right.
Yeah. I thought we traded off a couple of good, rules for the Canadian side to pull it over that way.
Yeah.
It's just not fluid behind the tee line.
Let it die. To the center.
We're over.
To the center. To the center. Come on.
Well, and just to
Okay,
clarify,
okay.
in that WCF rule at the Olympics, if you're sweeping your own rock, one of your teammates, even leader second, can continue to sweep. But when you're sweeping the opponent's rock, it's only the acting skip.
Exactly.
Which is basically the skip until he leaves to throw his first stone, and then it's the third man.
Yes. And God love Russ Howard, but he looked really funny sweeping all those rocks. He was flying around that behind that tee line.
Well, too many rocks in line and wrong color, so they're starting to peel them away.
Hard.
We'll hold this, and we'll almost drill it off that back one, which he just drew into the rings.
I just keep throwing long guards. That's why I don't know if that drawback there was any good. Yeah.
Well, no, you got to be third shot. There's danger.
Well, what difference does it make if...
It seemed like Martin didn't kind of let his boys know why he was drawing the side on that one, and Walchuk hadn't bought into it.
Nail it, Dave.
Another guard going up, and they certainly would like to stack this
No, I don't mind that.
on a
Double
rough
field.
angle for Martin.
Boy, I tell you.
Well, double fill when they're lined right up.
Well, we're trying the straight back, but...
Ice very, very quick here, so
Tighter.
you've got to really
Hold
throw
in.
a gentle to just get it over the hog
Hold in.
line.
Yep,
For a
great
long, long
sweeping.
guard.
Well
Great
then.
sweeping advantage ice here.
Well,
We talked also,
forward.
Ed, about
Line's
the
good, just forward.
disappointment that Ferbey
team must be feeling, you know, after being so many times to the Briar, not getting back this year, and watching, you know, Kevin Martin go.
Both these teams came through the B side. And for the Randy Ferbey squad, had a first quick win, then lost to Pat Simmons before getting it all back together again. Daisy Adams, Peters, and then the semifinal win against Glenn Howard.
Right on it.
And in that triple format, you know, the team had a chance to get 2 losses during the event and still come through the C event. So you could qualify through A, B, or C to get into the quarterfinals. After that, it's straight elimination. Martin playing the long angle race here. And this perfect shot here, if he makes it, could do a lot of damage.
Always ranked high amongst the skips.
Oh, man, not even close.
It over.
And you needed about 2/3 of that one.
Yeah, I thought I threw it not
Doesn't
bad.
help his cause.
Yeah. I thought I threw it not bad. Just didn't do anything.
Kevin started with a victory, big time win, then lost to Sean Adams before putting it together. Wins over Fry, Simmons, Wayne Madaw, and then Adams again. A little retribution there.
So they had the 1 loss, which sent them down to the B event, and they qualified through there, and then have
Round the
been
whole
good
thing?
in the
You can see enough
quarterfinals
of
and
that.
semis to get to this final.
Yeah, well, you might be able to.
16-team event. 2 came through the A side, 3 from B, and 3 from the
Might
C
stick
side.
around though.
Almost better to qualify through the B. At least you're playing games.
This rock's probably not going nowhere.
Jeff Stoughton sat around for a day, and because he didn't play the quarters last night,
I don't know, maybe
you know,
2/3.
reaching to
much
get out on
time,
the
yeah.
ice. Too much time.
Well, watching this Randy Ferbey team here, I would say this is the longest stretch they've had in about the last 5 years where they haven't won an event. They lost the trials, and then they lost in the Canada Cup, and then they lost their own provincial playdowns. So they just haven't been able to click lately and win an event. You know, that's not usual for them. If they miss one weekend, they're winning the next.
Yeah, we certainly are hard on them when they're not there in the finals. And, you know, because they've won so much, we just expect this.
That's right. Expectations are so high for, in fact, both these teams. You're sort of going, well, what happened there?
We expected the Martin Ferbey to be in the Olympic trials. They should, you know, not expecting the Gushu team to be there.
And then Ferbey, throw in another event, he also didn't win the Slam event in Winnipeg at the beginning of January.
That's right.
So he's on a non-winning streak in finals.
8, 6, 5, yep, go, hard. 5,
Hard then.
hard.
Hard.
Well, really?
Now yellow counting 1.
Hard.
We'd like this right to the side of the button.
Hard. Hard. Let's throw it.
Is a good shot.
Well, we've seen many, many times how these two front-enders for Randy Ferbey and David Nettowin can bring in rocks and make their skip look so good. That rock is side by each.
Little surprised that Martin isn't playing another run back here, because he's very good at those, but he's decided to play the in-turn draw, which is not necessarily his bread and butter all the time, but he's definitely got better at this over the years.
Yep. And the last of the second end as Kevin Martin tries
Line's
to
perfect.
take 1.
Go hard. Okay.
Got room.
Have a look.
Got room.
Have a look. Line's perfect. Have
Needs
a
a
look.
lot of bend at the
On
end.
the T line.
Whoa, it's got a curl.
Go, 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 go.
Hard.
Go, 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 go,
A
go.
lot of pressure on the sweepers.
Whoa.
I don't think so.
Looks like 1 yellow.
What does it look like?
Okay, Ed, you call it.
That's definitely 1 banana or 1 lemon, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And to a measure in the second end to decide whether or not it's a 3-0 game or 2-1.
Okay.
Oh, they're going to bring out the measuring stick.
Yellow all day.
You think it's yellow?
Well, it's
Okay.
Now that you got
All right, I got it here anyways, so.
And the same way, now that you brought it all the way out here, you might as well do something with it.
See how David Nedowin is on the stick again.
That was your instinct, though.
Yeah.
Watch that Geiger count go around.
Just wiggling it.
You can see the needle just wiggle.
Okay.
Oh,
Definitely yellow.
No question at all. Yellow is the score, so it's a steal of 1 and a 3-0 Ferbey lead over Martin in the championship. The Newfoundland and Labrador was a swell guy. They used to go out hunting, fishing together when he knew him way back when, overlooking St. John's. And welcome inside mile 1 into the third end. A steal of 1 in the second, as the Ferbey team ahead 3-0 against Kevin Martin.
Should probably be throwing that 8 first, eh?
Well, there certainly is no fear when you see Kevin Martin
the
down
eight,
3 or
much.
Kevin Martin up 3, because you know there's always going to be a game left to play. There's always going to be lots of finish.
One of those things, still 8 ends left.
Well, a real good start here for the Ferbey team. Up 3-zip and rolling.
Hard. Hard. Go, 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 go. Come on, go, come on. Pass center. Go, go, go.
They got one just a top 4 foot, full 8, and covering it up, Martin went with a real wide guard.
Throw, Marty.
Well, at the Glendale Golf and Country Club in November of '04, Kevin Martin gave up a 5 spot to Jeff Stout in the first end, came roaring back to win 10-9. So
Yep,
they say
scary.
plenty of racetrack.
Scary.
Go if you can. Go if you can. Make sure we're there. Gotta go.
Jeff's going to be going, they just won't forget.
Heart,
Why
heart,
don't
go
you
there.
guys
Why
leave
don't
that
you just
alone?
Give it up.
I mentioned that to him at the trials. He says, oh, gee, thanks for reminding me.
Okay.
Not quite all the way there.
Hey. Want normal or?
Throw normal, brother.
Throw normal.
Scott Piper.
Yep.
Beautiful backswing delivery, just as smooth as ever.
Hard, hard. Hard right up.
So quick to pop out of his delivery.
Hard, 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 hard.
He stuck it right there for a good guard.
And in this final, we're pleased to be joined by Dave Nedowin for another edition of Rock Talk. And Dave, you got involved in a brand new initiative this year, Curl TV. Tell us how it's going.
Well, it's going really well. Our subscribers think it's fabulous. We try and emulate as much as we can what you get in a TV broadcast. Obviously, it's over internet. We don't have the high definition or TV cameras, but we've got some pretty great equipment. It operates very similar from, robotic overheads and commentator and all that. So it's going really well. We have members from, I think, over 25 different countries right now, and we're showing the rest of the Grand Slam series and a lot of the CCA events, including the Worlds and morning draws at the Scott and the Briar and everything. So
it's outstanding.
Yeah, it's really fabulous right now. It's going very well.
Well, that's one thing that surprised me this year is the amount of wide coverage with you've got. A number of events you've done is pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, it is. And then the really great thing is that everything gets kept online, so you can go back and watch any game you want. So we've got like 120 games archived right now, including all of the Rogers Sportsnet's Grand Slam semifinals and finals. You can go back and watch all them on there as well. So, there's a pile of content from coaching tips and everyday champions and the games and game reviews and all that. So it's going very well.
Well, get back to work here. We'll talk to you in a moment.
Sounds
Dave
good.
Nedowin. Now he's got to go to work. A little sweeping action. You could tell we caught him after a pretty good sweep up first rock, didn't we?
Ferbey trying to take away any possibility that Martin has here to mount an attack. Peels the corner.
Dave, you've had such a great run over the past 4 years, and not getting to the Briar's got to be a little disappointing, or actually probably a little weird, because it opens up a lot of time in your schedule now, doesn't it?
Well, it does, except for I'm probably doing more traveling because now I'm heading to the Scots and the Briar and the World and promoting Curl TV. But you know what it is? It's a little weird. I mean, we're obviously disappointed that we're not having a chance to go back, but we knew that would happen eventually. And obviously 5 in a row was really fantastic and something that we'll look back on and enjoy for the rest of our lives. So, I know Kevin's going to go there and do absolutely fantastic in a stellar field, and we're going to enjoy watching this time.
Gee. What to do here? Just hit for a few, right?
Listen to Kevin Martin back there discuss his strategy.
Eventually, we don't have to this end.
There we go.
On the nose even?
Get a deuce somehow. We'll get a deuce.
Bumper.
Throwing lots of bumper weight, it seems.
Hard.
Yeah, real hard.
Right out of his hand, he wanted the sweepers on him.
Whoa! 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 Hard. Nice shot.
David, we're just wondering the future of the Ferbey foursome for this year, next year.
Well,
Can you give us a little peek about it?
I don't know. It seems like everybody else has counted us out for a lot just because, you know, it's been the end of such a successful run. But I can guarantee you that this team will be playing together for next year and the next number of years. And, you know, we've already talked about 2010 and the same four group of guys, you know, barring some, you know, unforeseen circumstances, is going to be playing together for a long time still. So we're, you know, our sights are certainly set on obviously today and finishing strong in the Players' Championship. And then next year we're right back to where we were, trying to get a trial spot and you know, maybe another run at the Briar if we can.
Dave, thanks so much. We'll let you get back to work. Appreciate you joining us.
Thank you very much.
Dave Nettoway of the Ferbey foursome. They lead 3-0 right now. Well, there it is.
Well, that puts a lot of rumors to rest. There was certainly talk that Randy Ferbey might be finished. Marcel Rock, you know, thinking that he might be replaced. So that's nice to hear.
Well, they made a commitment over the last year to concentrate on curling. They wanted that Olympic trial, and it's so hard to get with the field that was there in Halifax. So now they've got to make some decisions, get back to, you know what, if we can use the term in quotations, regular life, and as opposed to having curling be their life. Now they've got other jobs and endeavors around the sport.
And one of the biggest things is families, you know. You really have to have a cooperative family that really loves the game as well, because it takes a lot of time. And these guys aren't quite professional yet. You know, they're pretty close to that level, but not, you know, it's not a total living near them all the time. So, you know, they owe a lot to their families.
Yes, they do. And they have support not only from their immediate spouses, but also from their children. You know, you can hear them always trying to let us let the families know and say hello.
Well, it looks like no deuce in the books for this end. It'll be just a wide open end, and Martin will look for the blank to retain hammer. Surprised we didn't even see a freeze attempt there.
There's a spot out there somewhere that's going to go straight.
I think particularly a reason why Martin didn't freeze on this end is that if they freeze, it's well in front of the tee line, and he just might be afraid that Ferbey might be gutsy enough to guard it and force him to one.
By halfway, it was starting to go already. It's done yet.
A lot of game left here, and I can see the Martin wheels turning back there, and he's certainly trying to mastermind a comeback.
He certainly is, although when he sits back and he's very cool about his thought patterns, you just know something's brewing.
Routine hit and stay.
So Kevin Martin gets back into the hack for his first rock in the third end.
Well, there's the one rock in the rings, and that blue just off the rings, and just to let our viewers know that rock probably is not splittable. You couldn't get it in for two because you'd be pushing it away from the rings even if you rolled your shooter in, so there's no viable two-ender there.
Oh, clean. Yep. Oh. Good.
We've seen more wide open ends in this tournament than we have in 5 years of Grand Slam. And I don't know if that is just the way the players are, or managing their time, or just the way the rocks are falling.
Well, that could be one of the reasons, you know, that if you play 10 ends or draw, boy, you're really fighting the clock the last couple of ends, and if you happen to be one or two behind, or say 2 or 3 behind, you got to play the draw game to try and get back into it.
5:55, yeah. You go to Toronto?
Well, I think we are. You're Toronto too?
No, I'm Montreal, Toronto.
Well, they got time to do their travel plans.
Travel arrangements here.
arrangements.
Well, the other reason you might be seeing it a little bit more open is that teams find when they draw a lot with the hammer and the other team draws with them that they can just get into a lot of big messes, and you know, they'd rather get that junior deuce where there's not such a big risk at getting a two-ender. So you just play for the one corner guard or play something simple early in the end, and just like Ferbey did on the first end, he made his two-ender right in the last two shots.
And now just trying to keep things clean so they can get the blank and hold on to the hammer in the fourth.
Maybe they're thinking of splitting hotel rooms in
Well, it sounds
Toronto.
like or they're going to have a race back to Edmonton. I'm not sure what's going on here. See who's got the better travel agent tomorrow.
Kevin, big weight, looking for the blank. He gets it, the skinny one.
Chips that away. And so that will go down as a blank in the third. Martin will hold on to the hammer, trailing 3-0 to Randy Ferbey's squad. The all gentlemen met in a championship.
Well, that was a biggie, and Martin had trailed early, but coming in the seventh end, played a phenomenal in-off from the side for a three-bagger, and that turned it all around for him.
Don Walchuk also made a brilliant shot earlier in that game. He went on to an 8-7 victory, stealing one in the 10th. Looking at Grand Slam wins, Kevin Martin has certainly enjoyed his time on tour. Wayne Madaw with 4, Jeff Stoughton with 3. Still looking for win number 1 at the Grand Slam Tour. So Randy Ferbey right now leading 3-0 in the fourth.
It's a good start for the Ferbey team, and they're on track to win their first one.
With Marilyn Bolo and Pinarolo Pete, Ed Lukowicz, I'm Rob Faulds.
7, 6.
He'll get over it, Ed. He'll get over it.
Good.
Actually, I think Ed slept through the first game, to tell you the
so
truth.
too. I don't
think he was caught in some
I
plane.
think he was here, but was trying to get over the jet lag.
Well, I should have taken Robbie along. Next time I'll get him into my suitcase and take him.
I want to be a chef de mission. I think that would be cool. Who do I talk to?
It is. It's a great title. To be the, the chief of your whole team that's the Olympics.
I could do that.
The mastermind.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I can do that.
Back line.
Pull it.
Whoa. Right off.
Pull, guys.
Right off.
A lot of room.
Whoa.
Don Bartlett, he likes to yell the sweep, yelling the off here. And yeah, there's certainly been talk about Bartlett not playing next year.
Well, nagging back injuries have caused some problem.
Very nice.
He wanted to give a shout out to the gang at Canada Post. Keeps getting a lot of time off there. And to his boys who are watching back at home. Bartlett's hitting 98%. Marcel Rock, well, nothing to argue about there.
He's way behind Marcel.
Yep. Hard. Whoa, real hard. Hard.
Going for the double.
Hard.
It will
Jams
be a
it.
jam, and but a good try. They ignored that rock in the rings. They viewed the guard as the trouble stone and went for the double. At least the guard's gone, and now either Martin has to throw another guard out in front, or the play will be all in the rings.
This has been such a magic combination, the Ferbey team, finding the right players to go, and then, they made the commitment. They wanted to stay and go after Canadian championships. They went a different route than the remainder of the Grand Slam field, but now everybody's back in the same fold, which is nice to see.
And this game tonight, what a phenomenal final we can have. Arguably the two top money-winning teams of all time, and you'd have to place Wayne Madaw pretty close on that as well. But these guys have won more cash than any teams around. And Martin went over the 300,000 mark last year, total winnings and everything for the year. First team to ever do that. And 2 years ago, it was both of these teams winning over 200,000, both in the same year. That was the first time that had ever been done.
Try.
Kind of wait.
Bumper.
Carter Rycroft trying to make that perfect freeze on his last shot, and it's been tough ice to freeze on. We saw that in the semifinal. Glenn Howard really having a tough trying to get those rocks in a perfect position and making opposition. Scott Pfeiffer look real great. This is a fantastic shot.
Very nice.
Bumps another blue out of the way, and the second numbers. Brought to you by BDO Dunwoody. Pfeiffer at 97%. Rycroft struggling more with hits, only at 63% on his hit total.
And give advantage there to second man for Ferbey, curling a phenomenal game. And that edge at second really makes a big difference in how the ends get set up. And this is, I think, well, the best I've seen Carter slide, though. Like room direction, he's really got a good slide at the room right now.
And his foot right behind that rock.
Now, when Ferbey's team peeled that corner guard, they pretty much forced the game to go into the rings. And Martin just can't afford to make a mistake here or set up an easy double for the Ferbey team.
Had a pretty good line early, just didn't do much.
Boy, that was an unfortunate error there.
It almost slid right through the back of the house. With a 3-0 lead, a very quick decision here by Randy Ferbey and Dave Nedowan on what they want to do.
Ferbey's team could play big way here or there. They could play it fairly soft and even try and get the yellow to get both blues.
Make sure we get one of them.
And made, as you call, Ed, a peach in the fifth end. Their game against Glenn Howard. Collect 4 and really change the complexion of that game.
Normal? Yeah, normal up.
Well, they are going for the double.
Help! Hard! Hard! Hard!
Zingo whammo, they have got it going so far tonight.
That's far too much yellow for Kevin Martin to look at.
Well, it's just amazing how well they know the angles. When you hit one of your own rocks that can force it back onto a back 12 rock there, it's just amazing.
Good shooting by Randy Ferbey.
Well, a good friend of mine, Roger Schmidt, who works with the Italian team at the Olympics, recently defined for me curling. He said it's the chemical combination of physics and psychology, and these guys really know their physics when it comes to all of the angles.
Now we saw the physics, and if Ferbey continues to add up numbers here, then we'll see the psychology part settle in.
Oh, their psychology started a long time ago.
Just no deuce able to show up here yet for the Martin team, and you know, you just don't expect Ferbey team to miss an easy one and just hand them a deuce. You got to earn it at this level.
You can afford to roll this way a little bit.
Yeah.
Throw normal?
Sure, I'll throw it up.
Good communication between the Ferbey team here. David Nedowan and Randy themselves.
Well, they communicate well, but boy, there's a lot of understanding between them on shots too. Like they all are on the same page 100% of the time.
And just punch that through. Looking at the numbers for the men throwing third rocks, Randy Ferbey and Don Walchuk there. Ferbey's on his game, Don Walchuk at 81%.
Well, you can see right now why the Ferbey team's up 3-0. They've earned it so far.
What's that?
Walchuk's going to play a tap here, and you know, there's a lot of yellow stones in the rings, and if Martin can get those positioned correctly and play a proper freeze in, he could earn a deuce.
Clean. Yep.
Yep. Yep. Hard all the way.
Hard.
Yep.
Hard. Well, plenty of weight. Yeah, but just got tight.
It was over curled.
Big weight.
It does nothing to manufacture a solid pocket. Struggling right now, they are, the Martin team.
Having trouble putting a rock where we need them right now. Nothing went real early on me then. It should really.
At this level of play, you know, listening to Kevin and Don type back there, I mean, positioning the stones properly, getting your stones into the right spot to give the other guy maximum trouble is so key.
Just listening to talk between Kevin Martin and Don Walchuk, the frustration coming out in Kevin Martin's voice, and sometimes it's his way of relieving himself, trying to get it out, and it's really intense.
Yep.
Very much perfectionist on the ice.
Are they playing to stay? Well, they just rattle it out of there and roll away.
Still 4 counting for yellow. And now Kevin Martin takes a look as he heads down to the hack. It will be his first stone in the 4th end, trailing 3-0. The championship of the Newfoundland and Labrador Masters of Curling from mile 1.
He's going to have to get the welding torch out and freeze a solid one on. He's going towards shot stone. Last time I saw this many yellow stones around was the Olympic final when Brad Boucher was drawing for 7. I think it was on the 6th end. Brad was heavy on that one and only got 6. He's probably the first guy in Olympic history to miss a draw for 7.
Yes.
Looking at the men throwing the last rocks.
Wow.
Oh, little switcheroo there. 96 for Neto and 69 for Kevin Martin.
Yeah, the Martin team just has not made a big shot so far in the game.
They haven't been crystal yet.
But it's early yet. A lot of ends to go, and these guys are capable of turning it around.
For weight. Freeze it.
Line's real good. Freeze
Picked. Oh, go ahead, hard.
Come on.
Hard.
Bartlett said it picked, so grabbed a little bit of debris. Line still looks pretty good if the wheels are there. Only 4th shot stone. No need to hit it.
Plays as a good guard.
See, I had a nice line too.
And a head shake
Pretty
says it all.
Weight, wasn't it?
Has he got any sort of triple
No,
quad?
he won't try. He'll be drawing the side of the button here.
All right.
Side of the forefoot.
All right. Just bite the forefoot.
Ed, they're trying to put the pressure on Kevin Martin. It looks like they want him to draw the edge of the 4, so this one is just center line, top 4.
Just wants to bite the top there.
Yeah, just bring it right in there and in a spot, so if Martin hits it on the nose, he's not shot stone, but yet make his draw more difficult, take away some of the forefoot from him. The Ferbey team, when they 56% of the time they're able to force a team to a single. That's 33rd on the tour, not all that high.
Any on your side, okay. Makes the draw tough, right? Yeah, absolutely. Any on your side makes the draw tough.
But the Ferbey team is a team that gambles a lot, so they go for big ends, and so quite often, you know, they'll even settle on giving a guy a deuce at an unimportant time. Ferbey steals 30% of the time, and this certainly is one of their opportunities to really tighten the screw right here.
5.
Go, bite the 4.
Marcel inside of the stone to the direction of curl. Scott up ahead. They haven't done a switch yet. They're staying in that position.
All the way. Come on, all the way. All the way.
Get it to top 4.
No, but they do get top 8.
Well, it does make the ring smaller and
narrows that port.
They count 4, and a tougher line now for Kevin Martin, who goes almost mid-12 to try to get edge of the butt of the forefoot rather.
Just wants to tippy toe it in there for shot stone.
He was light on his last draw. Liked the line, but he was a little light. See what he pulls out this time.
You're 3 down. The other guy's counting 4. There's pressure.
Okay, who wants to throw this rock?
Yeah.
Well, no one can throw it better than this man right here.
And Kevin, 75% on his draws this weekend.
That's pretty low for him.
And this is the final rock.
Lots of room.
4th end.
Line's, whoa then. Line's real good. Lots of room. Guard's not a problem.
Bartlett will be in charge of the judging of the weight.
T-line.
They're not touching it right now.
Line's perfect.
Well, Ed, you had said that Ferbey steals 30% of those steals, and not this time.
Here's a salute to Kevin Martin, because that was perfect just to get on the board. That could have been incredibly damaging, but Martin had draw weight there. Trails 3-1 after the quarterfinals this morning, as they postponed it because of the snow last night. See the names that made it through into the qualifying round. Howard, Ferbey, Adams, and Martin all matching up. And earlier today against Glenn Howard, Dave Nettowan and the Randy Ferbey team had to make a terrific shot.
David Nettowan, they took a timeout on this rock and discussed it. Scott Pfeiffer actually is the one that called this, and they are right on the money on this shot. And if you're coming from Italian, this is called a bravo.
Whoa, a Merrillism, wow.
Bravissimo indeed.
Bravissimo.
Yeah, that spills everything out. They count 4, changes the whole game. They went on to a 9-6 victory over Glenn Howard. It was interesting. They spent a lot of time, Ed, looking at it and saying, you know, if we just take the 1, that's not so bad. So they were looking at a guard option. Finally, it was Scott Pfeiffer to mention to Marcel Rock. They saw it from the other end. They said, you know what, even if we miss this and let them steal 1, it's still early enough in the game.
It sure had some great action to it.
And then they all kind of went, oh, it is there.
They woke up.
Well, it was a cheap hammer for Randy and his team as they forced Kevin to 1. They would have dearly loved to steal some more there, but, you know, 4-1, they got the hammer back, and they're definitely in control.
Play tight.
No. What do we got?
7.
Yep.
8. Yep. Room. 6. We got room. 8.
6 to 8.
7.
Bye-bye.
Don Bartlett placed the center guard just off the center line.
Let's go, Marty.
Sure.
A little bit deep there for Marcel Rock. But still in front of the tee line, not bad.
A little bit deep, and that's, you know, swinging on the other side.
Well, it's so wonderful to be back to this ice. You know, the ice at the Olympics, they had to dish a little bit to get some curl towards the center, and the shoulders were high. You couldn't draw around corner guards. From the center line side, you had to go on the board side. It was wonderful to get back to ice that moves like that.
Yes, and we heard rumors that the International Curling Federation likes the ice like that, only because it equalizes all the countries. Now, I know Pal Truson, he was very upset with the ice because he's used to coming here to the Grand Slam, to Canadian ice, and it makes a big difference.
And there's the man who talks about the ice. That's Mark Shork from Winnipeg.
Phenomenal ice maker extraordinaire, and he'll be in Bemidji a week from now making the ice for the U.S. Nationals. Well, it's called the trials now. Each year they call it the open trials to go to the Worlds, and Mark will be the ice maker there. They love him.
Got a lot of room here.
They use these same WC stones as well.
Got room. Got room.
No. Go.
Well, unfortunately for Bartlett, that rock of his picked and right out of his hand and went way over for a corner guard that is useless to Martin right now. And right now, nothing going their way. Forced here to play the run back. And if you don't make this real accurate, all you're doing is taking away your own center guard.
These guys were losing every round.
Wow.
That was well thrown.
They've lost over curl on all their straight backs.
Another edition of Rock Talk, and joining us is the lead for Kevin Martin, Don Bartlett. Don, in tough always against Randy Ferbey, aren't you?
Yeah, these guys are curling really good, and we suck right now.
Well, unfortunate on your last rock there, Donnie Bartlett, but you know, there's lots of handprints, it looks like, on the ice, you know, out there. What are your thoughts?
Actually, that one, we saw about 3 hairs. So there's some hairs falling off, obviously.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Well, Don, you're getting another opportunity. You're headed to the Brier again. That's such a big boost. It's been a long time since you guys have seen a little Brier action. Nice to be back.
Yeah, 2000, I guess, was our last chance, and hopefully this is probably going to be my last one, so hopefully we can do well.
Well, that's an interesting comment from him.
Yeah, well, we know that he's
had a long run.
Definitely has had that nagging back, and he has told people that he is going to retire.
Well, he has been in a phenomenal lead on this Martin team over the years, and one of the best judges of draw weight that you'll ever see.
Good shot. It's fine.
Don, you alluded to the fact this is going to be your last Brier. Are you telling us something?
Well, I don't know. I'm taking next year off for sure, and after that, I'm not sure. I got 2 young gentlemen at home that need to see more of Dad, so take a year off and spend some time with my sons.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Stuart and Donald. Donald, Stuart, hi. Dad says hi to you.
Yeah, make sure your homework's done, otherwise Dad's going to
That's right.
be mad.
And I'd also like to say hi to David Netherwin's dad, who's in the hospital. Mr. Netherwin, we're all thinking about you and hope you get out of there soon.
That's nice. Don, your thoughts on a fellow Newfoundlander winning the gold medal here, you know, Brad Gushue. How does that feel to all the province here?
Fantastic. You know, just before they left, I came down to Newfoundland, surprised them. I handed, they wanted me to hand off the torch, sort of a symbol from one Newfoundlander from the last Olympics to the guys going this time, and they really liked that. And I told them, I told everybody in the audience that I had no doubts that they were going to win. And being from Newfoundland, you, I don't know, you have a special pride, and you want to do your province well. And the boys did great.
Well, they didn't just do the province proud; they did the entire country proud, and that mix of youth and experience certainly paid off, didn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean, a lot of guys thought when they brought Russ aboard that would screw up their team, but Russ Howard is one of the top 2 or 3 skips I've ever played against in all my 32 years of curling, and having a guy like that on board can't hurt you, I'll tell you that.
You know, kind words there all the way around from Don Bartlett, and you know, it won't be the same without him playing next year. You know, you're so used to seeing him on this Martin team, and you know, certainly, you know, if Kevin gets somebody else to play lead, it's going to be new blood on the team, but you know, Bartlett's going to be hard to replace.
Okay.
There's no doubt about that, but he's picked his priorities, and his priorities next year definitely.
A little more home time, yeah.
Home time is for sure.
The commitment they make, and people may not realize the commitment they make to this game and the time away from work. They use up all their vacation time, their days owing, they bank time so they can come to all these events. And then, of course, they have to be there for work and then the other time, so they surrender a lot of vacation time to be part of it. Don, tell me about the styles that both these teams play. Are you similar styles?
Yeah, when we're going really well, we play a little bit more offensive, but we're not right sharp right now. These guys are obviously one of the most aggressive teams in Canada and in the world, and you got to be at your best to stay up with them. And the scoreboard shows why we're not with them right now. They're playing really well.
Well, you're not used to playing 3 games in a day on a championship day. You know, playing that quarterfinal this morning at 9 o'clock had to put a hitch in everybody.
Yeah, it's not good for my back either.
I was going to say, how's the back hold up?
It's actually not bad. It's a lot better than I thought. The last game hurt more than this one does. So
you're getting looser.
Yeah, well, that's because you're in a final too,
yeah.
Don. Come on.
Yeah.
It hurts a lot less when you're in the championship.
Yeah.
Don, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, and also, guys, I'd like to say thanks to Canada Post for sponsoring me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Well said. Nice words all around by Don Bartlett. Always great to talk to. In this edition of Rock Talk, his team down, trails by 2 in the 5th end.
And they've done a lot of winning over the years, and with Don, we've always said the postman delivers when he's shooting great, and you're going to have to make some good ones the rest of the way here. Playing the inside roll.
Yep.
Well, they really need a lot of action going on this end. Ray's maybe set up for his deuce.
Yeah, it's a wide open split house, and that one pick that occurred to the Bartlett shot early on and went over for a corner just hasn't helped them at all. And Randy Ferbey, if he can finish this off, get a deuce home, boy, that'd be a big lead in the game.
Ferbey with the yellow stones, his last stone of the 5th end, and then we'll get to the 4ths.
They're playing soft weight, looking for the inside roll.
Hard. Whoa. Bumper up. Whoa.
Pfeiffer inside to the direction of curl.
Whoa.
Sorry, guys.
No, it just railed straight in at the end, and they did not get the roll.
That's pretty flat.
So 2 yellows in the rings right now. 3-1 the score. And Kevin Martin taking another look as he starts to head back.
Martin playing huge weight, looking for the double.
It's a long way to go.
I can see more than all of it.
It's going to have to be a rocket.
He says he can see more than all of it.
Yeah, so
that's awful.
Decided to go with the out turn. It's a little more action coming off the face of it.
More action, more spin, more momentum on the rock.
This could definitely have to be a howitzer to get all the way across.
Hard.
And a little extra push.
An extension that we're all familiar with.
Hard. Jeez
Christ.
Gets one.
They've been missing everything over the top.
And Kevin again has come back to one spot on the ice. He doesn't know what it is. He's looking down at it. It's, I don't know, what, 8-12 feet just away from the hog line?
Yeah, and they accidentally bumped that side guard, so stationary stone is simply put back.
Carter Rykoff coming across that, just catches it in his back toe, almost does the splits. What Olympic sport is that?
The oops.
That's the speed skating move they make at the right at the finish line, where they reach forward with the one foot and the other foot back.
And here's Dave Nedewin's first to the fifth.
In turn, looking for the perfect split of the rings. And this is definitely the junior deuce, the easy deuce, nothing in the forefoot to worry about, and Martin with really no way to steal the end.
Can't hurt for line either. 6, 7, 8. No. Ooh.
We heard the number 6 and 7. They use that numbering system, 6 and 7 meaning indicating T-line.
Throw, Dave. Throw.
Well, no double there, just possible hit and roll. Recover the other way.
I was thinking about that. I had you this far off center.
Yeah, about that much on the side.
I started it too, but
the boys saying, whoops, we sent that one over a little bit too far, and Martin could roll. Yeah, Martin could play this and make the hit in here and get the roll right under cover and be just barely shot stone.
Is stuff going to be flying around the air or something? On the ice? What do you think?
They've had a few picks, and quite often what you'll find is, you know, players, if they walk on the carpet at all, a tiny bit of carpet fiber and comes off onto the ice, off their shoes, and that gets under a rock, it's just like a small hair. It'll pick. You'll get an immediate curl in the stone when it picks, and it's offline right away.
And you can't be thinking about those things when you're throwing a rock against two, and especially against David Nedwin.
Working hard to hold this one. Get
Last
the roll.
rock for Kevin Martin.
Go hard, go hard, hard.
Is the roll all there? Not quite.
Not quite, so they'll get a good look at it as the Ferbey foursome will try to take another deuce.
Yeah, the junior deuce is alive and well. Nedwin will play the outturn soft weight. He can see more than all of that.
He'll take his time on this.
So chance for another 2 for the Ferbey team, and that would give them a 5-1 lead.
Ferbey's hammer efficiency on the tour this year, 52% of the time. When they have last stone, they count 2 or more. That's 4th on the tour. I can imagine playing these guys, whoever you are, it's you don't have to work too hard to give them a deuce or more. They're pretty efficient at coming up with it.
Last rock of the fifth.
Up or down. Yep.
Nedwin with that classic delivery, the soft release.
And the classic sweep by these two fine men of David Nedwin.
Huff and Puff didn't have to work it too hard as they held the line, got the deuce.
There's 2 more for the Ferbey total. So right now, Randy Ferbey leading 5-1 at the 5th end break. Mile 1 Stadium in St. John's, Newfoundland, and a short trip along Water Street by the harbor. Right now, harboring maybe visions of victory. Randy Ferbey leads Kevin Martin by the archives. And Ed, do you recognize anybody in this shot here?
Oh, wow.
This is from 1978.
Teammates Dale Johnson, Ron Schindel.
Look at those sideburns.
Mike Chernoff, the afro, yes.
And apparently March 1st of 1946 was quite a momentous day in history. Ladies and gentlemen, Ed Lukowich hits the big 6-0. They wouldn't let us use that many candles because of the fire hazard here at mile 1. But we wanted to wish you the happiest. This is for each of your 3 decades. It's March 1st. Marilyn's is a little later, but she's much younger. So, but Ed, you know, we'll help you out and down the stairs a little later. Congratulations, you look great. We all wish we could look as good as you. Now, some of the players, Ed, had some words for you on this momentous occasion. Take a look.
Hey Ed, happy birthday. I've known you for quite a while, and I wish you'd come out of retirement so I can take some shots at you on the ice instead of you giving them to me from upstairs in the booth. But hey, happy birthday. You're looking pretty good.
Eddie, happy birthday to you. Throw them hard and straight just like you always do.
Yeah, happy 60th birthday, Ed. That's quite a feat, and you know, you'll be graduating from seniors on to masters before you know it. Take a run at that masters title.
Happy 70th, Ed. Keep them going.
Well, Ed, you were certainly one of the greats of all time. I know growing up, I certainly watched all your games and read all your books and cheered you on, and despite that, I'm still doing pretty well. We certainly had a lot of fun at the Continental Cup with you, and you know, it was just a pleasure to be around, so happy 60th birthday.
Yeah, Ed Lukowich, my all-time idol. Happy birthday, 60 years old. Wow, that's quite a feat. Anyways, happy birthday, buddy.
Well, what I like the best is the fact that we were able to find color, you know, video of you instead of the black and white.
Blow it out. Blow it out.
Blow it out. There we go.
Yay.
Well, that took a lot of energy.
And many more. Do you want to rest now?
Go back to sleep, Ed.
Happy birthday, big man. We're through 5 at the Grand Slam of Curling, the Newfoundland and Labrador Masters of Curling. It is 5-1. Ed, you can have a nap now.
It's hockey that matters. St. Louis, Edmonton, Wednesday at 8 Mountain, 9 Central on Sportsnet West.
Bad poker face. Doesn't matter online at partypoker.net, the world's largest poker school. More players, more tables, more winners. Sign up now to partypoker.net, the best place to learn how to win.
CIBC Financial Health Check.
Yep.
Well, that didn't take long.
No, 15, 20 minutes.
There you go. Hey, Financial Health Check.
Check.
And?
My RSP is good to go.
And?
I don't have to give up everything.
And?
I have a plan that is easy to follow.
Yeah. You have a plan?
With the CIBC Financial Health Check.
Helps you figure out your financial goals and how to invest to reach them. Get in there.
Introducing the CIBC Financial Health Check. Start the future today.
While the Hyundai Tucson is designed to excite all the senses, it also provides you with a sixth sense in the form of electronic stability control, a safety feature that anticipates trouble, then automatically intervenes, reducing the likelihood of a rollover. And it comes standard on every Tucson. The 2006 Hyundai Tucson, proof that as senses go, you can never have too many.
With all new attractions like Monsters, Inc., Mike and Sully to the rescue. Our 50th celebration is really kicking into high gear. Come join us. And now for a limited time, everyone plays for the kids' price.
This is the Grand Slam of Curling on Rogers Sportsnet. The Ultima World Curling Tour from Mile 1 Stadium in St. John's, Newfoundland. It is the Newfoundland and Labrador Masters of Curling. The championship final, $30,000 to the winner, Randy Ferbey against Kevin Martin in the All-Alberta final. With the ever eternally young Ed Lukowich and the always young Marilyn Bodo, I'm Rob Fault. And after 5 ends of play, it is 5-1 for the Ferbey squad.
Well, that's it. After getting roasted, I'm not saying one nice thing about any of these guys for the rest of the game.
Now, Marcel Rock, look how long he leaves his hand on the ice. You know, and I got a problem sometimes with these players. So after he releases the rock, his hand is sitting on the ice, and it's sitting there. And I've got a question whether, Kevin Martin is looking at something like that.
It is a very good point, because in all of the major curling, even Olympics, they talk about it. The rules meeting with the players, they'll say, hey, keep your knee and your hand off the ice. And yet there's nobody that does anything about it ever. And, the only time something happens is when the team complains about it to the other team, and then there's kind of animosity between the two teams for the whole game then. No official ever comes out and says, hey, don't do that.
And there's no penalty for it. And maybe something has to be done by introducing it, because when you have ice that curls this much, the pebble is, very fine. There you go again. Don Bartlett, releasing his hand onto the ice.
Yeah, and if it's just a momentary thing, it's not a problem. But if your hand stays there for 10 or 15 seconds, or your knee, it just melts the pebble in that whole area. The rock goes over that spot, which is now flat, and will just take off on the curl.
And a corner guard,
which has not worked for Martin even a tiny bit in this game so far. When we talked about the similarities between these two teams, they both like to get rid of that corner guard very early in the end. They view it as a problem rock when they have a big lead like they have now. And Martin does it all the time, and I'm pretty sure Ferbey's going to be gassing that corner guard in a hurry once the free guard zone is 4 rock rules out of play.
Go. That's good. Well, that's good. That's good.
Great shot, Mark.
No pocket there, so Martin is going to move those and try and create something that will give him a better situation to freeze into.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. A little heavy, maybe.
Okay. Yep.
Contact with bull.
Whoa.
A lot of weight.
Whoa.
Yep.
Whoa.
A lot of weight. Enough to take it right out of the rings, but he does the split. Good shot.
Maybe wanted to move that back 4-foot rock just off of it a little bit more, set it behind the tee line.
And looking at the Martin squad through 5, that's an unusual number for Kevin Martin, 69%. Carter Rycroft at 71.
And the 69 for Kevin, really low for a skip position. And if you look at all the winning they've done over the last 10 years, even the players on the team will admit it, a lot of it has been due to the fact that Kevin has just played incredible. And a skip's got to do that at this level to win a lot of games, the extra games.
Not only does he play incredible, but he makes spectacular breakthrough shots. He could put a lot of points on that scoreboard.
Weight's good.
Halfway.
A little more.
Kevin viewing this as too early to go into the rings to get his deuce. Well, electing to play another corner.
Well, let's see how things stack up for the Ferbey squad.
You can hardly wait to see these.
Ouch.
Oh, 2 100s on the front end and the back end. Holy moly.
Nice shot.
And there goes peeling that corner again.
That'll work for you, wouldn't it? 100, 80, 96, 100. That works.
Yes. Quite nicely.
And Scott, the low man on the team, what did he have? Something like 89%.
Looks light.
Yeah.
Hard.
Gotta work hard to get this over the hog line. Kevin coming out to help.
Hard. She's over. Go, 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 go. Not my pile, but she's over.
Just over.
Gotta be the next
urging from everybody.
Taking very little time as Randy Ferbey is. He quickly scurries down to throw the peel. A little bit of a cat and mouse here.
Right there.
Martin throwing the guard, wanting the Ferbey team to waste rocks, peeling it. Or you might know, very little chance for him to get a nose out of this team. They just don't miss peels. That's just a routine shot.
And he does indeed peel it away.
And the Ferbey team saying, well, we're going to peel that corner, Kevin, until you go into the rings for your second counter. And then we will look for the double in the rings once we force the game there. Kevin wants to keep the pro angle on this weld onto the inside of it, the inside 2/3. Just in case there's a double, then the blue rock would get jammed on the yellow.
We've seen the freezes coming down throughout the semifinal and final game, and it's been a tough shot to make, and it's unusual for us to see the misses on them.
Well, boy, we can't have backdoor here, or
that hasn't even moved off hardly the center line. The weight's
the end will be
going.
lost. Wow. I haven't seen these guys miss like this for, well, forever.
It's a mental error.
Whoa.
Whoa.
That's
hack weight.
Yeah.
Well, for those that wonder exactly what happens during the fifth end break at championships, the stress level gets incredibly high. But of course, we were celebrating Ed's birthday, and Don Walchuk decided to celebrate in his own fashion. This during the fifth end break. Now, why is Don Walchuk doing that? Well, because Slammer was doing that.
They're doing the imitation style.
It was only the fifth end break. The stress level wasn't incredibly high. Ooh, nudges that over.
Yeah, that's not all good. That'll create a better angle for a freeze now. We're
a
talking about a
pocket.
freeze here where the guys haven't been able to hit the rings. They got to make a good one here. Perfect angle there. If they can freeze onto about 2/3 of that one, there's a double catcher then.
Line's pretty good. Oh, there again.
Wait again.
Freezer right on it.
No.
I know the problem here. You know, Walchuk's clean shaven tonight. You know, when he loses that beard, he loses his draw weight with it.
He's lost a fair bit of weight too.
Lock it. Lock it. Lock it. Freeze it. Right up hard. Come on.
Oh, that's a dandy.
That's nice. Wanted it frozen to it.
That probably isn't going to go no matter how you hit it. Because it'll jam the first yellow rock and get caught by the second one.
Shot.
First one.
Where'd that come from?
Well, I just had a bad fly. It wasn't even.
Wasn't even close, Skipper.
Well, it came out like a rocket.
Had to eventually let it go.
Well, sometimes that happens. Where'd that come from?
It's just mental, and it's their third game today. You know, big games being played throughout the day.
Yeah, definitely just a loss of concentration and focus.
Big hair right there, Scott. Side my rock.
With a 5-1 lead, Dave Nedowin.
Bumper, guys.
His first stone.
Bumper? Yeah.
Bumper weight. Hit it about 7/8 and try and keep his stone right in front of the blue shot stone.
Bumper down.
Yep. 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 Hard.
Hard.
Calling out the weight to Randy Ferbey right away.
Hard. 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 Hard.
This is over curled here.
Hard. 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 Okay.
Quiet, maybe? Yeah.
Well,
Rock and Pfeiffer working hard.
Heard the call come out right away and bumper down, and what that means is it's not positive enough. It's down weight, and as a result, it over curls.
Or pitch and roll, but that's
Wow.
fine.
Yeah.
Helps.
Martin playing the freeze the shot stone and just can't afford to over curl into about this area here, because then he would set up a very easy, or at least an easier double for Nedowin to be able to come in and make that double there. So he wants to keep it pro side. Freeze on the other side of it.
Maybe a little too much ice. A little less.
Martin with the hammer in the 6th.
Changing stones here. Looking for the one that curls a little more.
What are we freezing to here?
Kevin has a tendency to do that when he's not quite happy with his game or how the game's going. He'll sort of switch up things, and so it tells you where his mind's at some times. You know, in his head when he's already throwing that last rock.
Nice throw there and super release.
Really?
Good.
It's not bad. Go ahead. Hard.
Oh,
Waits there.
Room.
Oh. Looks good. Yep. Hard. We're there.
That's the side you said it should be on, Ed.
Oh, that's a nice shot. Very nice.
Perfectly laid right down there.
And, you know, you just don't see that shot played enough in curling. A lot of inexperienced teams will hit that shot stone, roll out, or set up an easy double. And Kevin's basically got the deuce one now that he made a super shot with his first one and got the right angle.
And with a deuce here, that changes the entire complexion of the game again.
Yeah, they're not even going to take a chance on shot stone. The Ferbey team is going to hit second shot.
Kevin Martin needs his deuce.
Throw a little bit of weight.
Randy Ferbey is saying, I'm quite willing to give you that.
Okay, I think a little less.
Try to nudge our yellow.
10?
Do we nudge our yellow a little?
Just roll in. Maybe it'll. I don't really know how it'll work out, but we might make it tough for him to get 2. I don't know.
If you sit.
Well, Martin is counting 1 right now, but he would have to either draw the button or move the stones to get 2.
We heard Marcel, if you roll in, it might make it tougher for you to him to get his deuce.
Yeah, it could also make it easier as you provide backing.
He's got to worry about that back yellow one, though, when he's drawing against him.
Yeah, Kevin just knows he has to move that a little bit. What's your thoughts here, Rob Maryland? Deuce gets Martin back into the battle?
Yeah, and it just turns things around. All of a sudden plants that seed, I think, with the Ferbey team that this game is definitely not out of reach. And the Martin team goes, we've got 2, we're still in it. And so all of a sudden, as you get into 7, 8, 9, 10, intensity level might crank up a little bit.
And this is where the 4-rock rule would definitely come into play. In the old peeling days, you know, you're down against a team that can peel everything. But with the 4-rock rule, you've got opportunities to get guards into play.
And the final stone of the 6th end. Looking for 2, Kevin Martin.
Got more than that.
Just go. Okay. Guys, clean.
Where's the weight?
Clean.
The weight seems to be all there on it.
Yep. Back 12.
Clean.
Yeah, that's good.
And there's no stress in this rock.
Look at that. Bops back the yellow. Count 2 blue. And now 5-1 lead is only now 5-3. A deuce for Kevin Martin after 6 ends of play of the Masters of Sean. Here are the Masters of Curling at Mile 1 in St. John's, Newfoundland. It is a 5-3 game with Randy Ferbey still leading by 2. Let's see how he responds to the deuce that Martin picked up in the 6th.
Line's good. Line's good.
Another mental mistake by the Martin team after earning a real fine deuce last end with 2 good freezes and got a deuce on the first opening shot of this end. They did not use the free guard zone and slipped into the rings, and the Ferbey team was able to hit it.
And we were just saying through the break there that we've hardly seen a lot of the guards go up, and it's just fairly wide open again.
But last end, that freeze by, you know, Ferbey team kind of got unlucky when they made a hit, a third man's hit late in the end. They rubbed the rock over and set up a real nice angle, and Don Waltrip froze into it perfectly. Earned the deuce.
6, 5, clean. Yep. 6. Got room. Got room. Clean. Room. Clean. 6, 7. Clean. 7. All there. Yep. Room. We're by. Room.
Just want this one to bend as it gets around the guard.
Shot, Marty. Throw.
Marty Marcel, he's had his weight today.
Well, right out of his hand, he said it's all there.
Get hard. Oh, hard. Gotta go. No, forget it. Pick.
Something's happened there.
That one picked as well. Over curled and rubbed it out. They wanted to hit and stay and roll.
That's number 7.
Carter Rycroft, he'll be in his second Brier appearance. The last time was the year 2000, the Brier in Saskatoon.
Hard! 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 Go, Marty. Hard, Marty! Hard! Let's go.
Trying to get that shooter out of the way as far as they can.
Okay.
Well, looking at the money leaders on the Ultimate World Curling Tour, and this could change depending on the outcome of this game. Randy Ferbey leads with $68,000, and Wayne Maddaw and Jeff Stoughton. This doesn't include any money that they pick up in this event. Kevin Martin is tied with Jeff Stoughton for 49, so there could be a little juggling there. A victory by Martin would move him to 79, and Randy Ferbey would be at 86 rather. So it's going to change considerably because Jeff Stoughton picked up 7,000 for qualifying.
A couple of things that happened in the last shots here. We saw the Ferbey team when they hit that center guard trying to roll their shooter entirely off of play, and our spectators might say, well, why roll it right off? Why wouldn't you stay for a corner guard when you have the hammer well? They're thinking blank here now, and if the corner had stayed more in play, Martin might be able to get him behind it with a last stone and force account.
You know, and a lot of people watching too would be looking at it going, well, why blank when there's, 4 stones left for your side? But if, as you said, the opportunity, you want to get the deuce or more.
Well, this is just another end that's backfired for Martin, and he had wanted to steal on this end, but he would at least like to have forced Ferbey to at least have to take one.
Well, Martin steals 25% at the time. He's 37th on the tour for stealing. And Ferbey gives up a steal of only 14% of the time, second best on the tour. So that stat tells you something.
Well, this end is totally at the advantage of Ferbey.
And there's the money, $100,000 in the purse. Winner takes home $30,000. Second place, 18. Those in the semifinals each got a check for $12,000, and to qualify, $7,000 thank you from Newfoundland. Newfoundland, of course, will be celebrating tomorrow the expected return of the Gushu rink to St. John's, and they've been sort of counting the hours to it. They're in contact with home immediately after their gold medal game, and of course the party had started on Friday right after they had sealed the deal in Turin.
Well, Rob, I remember a few years ago when we first started with Sportsnet, we talked about living in the Maritimes and how tough it was to play on the regular tour because of all the travel commitments. Well, this Gushu team has been able to overcome all that over the last few years. They travel a lot. They play the tour on a regular basis, and but there's so much talent on that team. You look at the way Mark Nichols shoots at 30, can throw it so hard and accurate. I mean, he's definitely one of the, if not arguably the best third in the world right now. And then Gushu throwing those last rocks. Well, that's just one heck of a team.
Don Walchuk using that little bit of a corner guard. That's all you need.
Bumper down.
You sneak a piece of that.
Bumper down.
Throwing very controlled weight on this shot. Randy Ferbey will be.
That's good.
Well, it doesn't look like a real important shot, but it is a fight for hammer here. Ferbey team would like to blank the end.
Bumper.
Advantage them if they can waste an end and blank it when they have this lead.
No, never. No, never.
Nothing there. Oh, he just ticks it out.
That's all you need.
And in mid-April, we'll be heading to Calgary, and here are the money leaders. The Ultimate World Curling Tour, the women's side, Jennifer Jones leading, then Shannon Kleibrink, Jan Betker, and big payday in line in Calgary. And the big names will be on hand.
Where's Marilyn's name there? Is this a misprint?
Well, I just go down the list a little bit further. But, when you look at the women here, when you play strong, you earn money. You should be into the Players' Championship. And the women who are representing their province right now and the Olympics, Shannon Kleibrink's team, they're all deservedly, to be there in Calgary.
And, of course, we don't want to neglect the performance of the Kleibrink team from Calgary, a bronze medal as well. Very good outing for them as they had to battle illness.
They battled a lot. There was a lot of stuff going on in their team, and for them to come through losing, the semifinal game and coming through and winning the bronze. You know, the medal is the medal, and it will always hang proudly around their neck. And we're very proud of them.
For sure, and it was a great women's final at the Olympics too, with Annette Norberg winning the gold in an extra end, having to make a double, and the Swiss team fought back all the way, so they made it a good final. But that Annette Norberg team, you know, most definitely the best women's team in the world right now. They won the Worlds last year. They've won 5 European championships, and they top it off with an Olympic gold medal.
They could come here and play on the men's tour, no problem. We could be the Annika.
That's right.
And we've seen the Annette Norberg team at the Continental Cup and what they can do. They're such a strong team.
Kevin Martin shy. He was trying to hide that around the corner guard. The way on the corner guard.
It overcurled.
And it came up light, despite the best efforts of Don Bartlett and then Don Walchuk jumping in.
Well, Nedwin able to go the other way now and position the stone in the rings, and Martin's going to have to hit. And
Eight's good, whatever.
I mean, he could play the freester, but if it's in front of the tee line, Nedwin would then just draw for 2.
It's just not going well for Kevin Martin, and it's very unusual for us to see this. Usually there's a spark, and when they're down, they're still scrapping back here, but nothing has seemed to work out.
Well, talking about the Clybrink team from Calgary, you know, winning a bronze medal. I know they were initially disappointed, you know, not being in the final, but a bronze medal is huge at the Olympics. I mean, you should be proud of any medal there. And
absolutely.
I always have a saying about it. I won a bronze one time, and I just say on a certain day when the light just hits it right, it looks gold. And over the years, you really appreciate
the effort that goes into it. Yeah, it's a long road to get there. So again, we salute both the Shannon Clybrink team and the Brad Gushu squad for their achievements in Italy. Pops that out, leaving him right in the 4-foot.
And also from the USA side, I was so proud of the Pete Fenson team, and I've worked with them for the last 2 years, and they've just worked so hard to improve their game. And we saw it last year here at the Slam in Newfoundland when they qualified in a tiebreaker to beat Jeff Stoughton, and then lost a real tough game to Glenn Howard in the quarterfinals. And that team has come a long way. They've really improved their draw game. They were always a great hitter.
Stop teaching them how to play the game so well, Eddie. We're just really glad they lost to Canada in the end.
Clean.
The blank here, yeah, hits it skinny, it goes, blank end.
And it is a blank. So as they decide to hold on to the hammer for one more end, Randy Ferbey's team still holds on to a 2-point lead over Kevin Martin.
It's hockey that matters. Vancouver, Calgary, Tuesday at 7 Mountain, 8 Central on Sportsnet West.
No one to play with. Play online at partypoker.net, the world's largest poker school. More players, more tables, more winners. Sign up now to partypoker.net, the best place to learn how to win.
All right, okay. And she says, go ahead. It's not my cow.
Morning.
Morning.
Morning, Don't you all have somewhere to be?
No, actually.
Not yet.
No.
Right here?
No, I'm good.
Great. So Skelton walks into a bar. The bartender says, "What can I get you?" Skelton says, "A beer and a mop."
A great boss makes all the difference. Find yours at monster.ca.
The Giant's Causeway, Ireland. A prehistoric volcanic landscape discovered by the MacDonald clan. On holiday from Ottawa. This ancient rope bridge was first crossed slowly by Bob Charles, followed eventually by Barbara. And here's the man who discovered the famous Galway Oyster Festival, and the Music Festival, and the Poetry Festival, and the art. Discover your very own Ireland at discoverireland.com.
An idea is born.
to build a vehicle that defies classification. Inspired by sports car design and propelled by a 320 horsepower engine. This brave idea is called...
And it has been the site of the Masters of Curling at Mile 1 Stadium. The weather wasn't very much of a friend to the organizing committee here, but of course the hospitality is always A1 in Newfoundland. The people of St. John's are just terrific hosts, and we want to thank Gary Stamp and the organizing committee for putting it together once again.
It's pretty good, aren't I?
Well, very unfortunate. Don Bartlett's, again, picked rock, and I just hold this shot here on Marcel. He palms the hand. It's exactly where the rock was picked.
And
you
he
know,
hogged it. I should tell everybody that the Bartlett stone didn't cross the line completely, and so it comes out of play.
Well, they weren't sweeping it at the end either. They thought it was over the hog line. It's just another mental mistake here and a bad break for the Martin team.
In a tight corner. Well, that's an interesting spot. Let's take a look at lead numbers brought to you by BDO Dunwoody. And still, shot rock is 100%. No hits for Don Bartlett, now 92%. Of course, that doesn't reflect the hogged rock.
Well, Marcel will lose his 100% there on that shot because they did not get the rock into the rings, and they wanted Marcel's draw way over in the corner, biting the rings. So he will get likely a 0 out of 4 if you're marking on a 4-point system.
And look at
same
this.
spot.
Same spot, but this time they get it across.
Just over. Holy moly.
Yeah, Don Bartlett.
And takes a bow to the crowd.
Now, you know that Bartlett's got it locked here, doesn't he? Kid from Gander, playing in his home province.
Room.
Half the people in the crowd are all here for him.
Yeah.
5.
If Brad Grushu had been here, there would have been 6,000 people here.
Yeah, and with the storm they had this weekend, it's good to see so many fans out that did make it
dig out.
They had an incredible day here yesterday with like huge winds and plenty of snow.
Marilyn and I braved it to try to get out here for the afternoon draw, and it was a mess outside.
I'd have had to battle to get here because of the snowstorm. I wasn't able to get here yesterday, and today the toughest thing on the flight was trying to get into the overhead to get that snowblower mine in that overhead deck. They just didn't want to go.
Not carry on anyone, huh?
All right, go ahead. Line's real nice. We got to bump it, though.
See if we can light some fire under this Martin team here.
Line's really good.
To make some shots.
This one, nice weight.
This is the 8th end of play.
It's been interesting.
Perfect weight and over curl.
Ferbey opted for a blank in the 7th to hold on to hammer, see if they can get something developed here.
Ferbey team deciding to waste this guard, peel it off.
Play.
Scott in turn, ladder perfect.
Can't get off anymore.
Second numbers right now, again in favor of the Ferbey squad. Pfeiffer's at 91%. Carter Rycroft at 75.
Right now,
trouble with draw weight.
Feel a point like this. It's impossible.
No, the Martin team in tough here. They can't really play into the rings right now because they'll set up a double.
We're dead right now. Try to bump it a little bit, roll in the center.
Same turn?
Same turn.
And we'll look at this Carter Rycroft delivery, and he really does have good foot positioning now. There's a few other times we've seen his foot kind of cross over the center of the stone too far.
Yep.
Yeah, he's up high and his shoulders are square.
I like the way he's throwing.
Sometimes we see his shoulders turn a little bit when his foot goes sideways.
Come on, she's there. She's there. Come on.
Looking for the tap and just rearrange these, keep the proper angle.
Oh, fly big.
And tapped the foot further than they wanted to. They had to sweep because it was over curling.
You know what I mean? Rattle off.
Randy Ferbey saying, "Hey, we hit a quarter, we got them all."
Oh, we got to make them bumps. Got to bump that thing back forward, otherwise we have.
Yep. Hard.
And it With only second stones, you heard Kevin Martin say it's going to be impossible to steal like this.
Could get it off his own. Yes,
and
he does.
There's 1, 2.
Wow.
And that cleans house, doesn't it?
Things going the Ferbey way, but they're setting them up and they're making them.
Well, it's nice to see, and you don't really want any of your rocks now in play because you're just leaving something for Kevin Martin to play into.
But,
momentum in the ice is great.
Amazingly enough, the Martin team has just had a really rotten game at even using the free guard zone so far. Like,
we got 8
yeah.
today.
I mean, they got to be mesmerized by how this thing is going.
9, actually. 8 out. Well, 8 going into this end.
Yeah,
just center guard, halfway.
I figured they've had 8 picks.
Cards, they're not going to appeal.
But wine and cheese don't get you a long way in this game, you know.
No.
Yeah, it's gone.
Well,
Hard.
that's why I was kind of surprised by that attitude by Kevin so quickly in this end.
Just over. Well, if you can get it over.
Sometimes it's just a feeling, and with Kevin, it's the momentum. He really needs all of his
Just
players
really
making all the shots and giving him some rocks to play off. There's no rocks out there.
Hey,
You
Don.
can't play anything.
Oh, I was talking Wally. Fine.
There's the third. 95% Randy Ferbey. He slides out of the hack now. Don Walchuk, 81%.
And the 2/3, they're great friends over the years. You know, they curled together in 88 and 89 with Ryan when they won back-to-back Briars and Worlds. Always best of friends. And if, you know, just so our viewers might not know this, but Randy Ferbey did curl third for this Kevin Martin team back in 1996. And kind of unceremoniously was cut from the team about halfway through the year because things weren't going too well.
Well, he was asked to play second and
Line's
decided,
really
no,
good.
I don't want to play that.
And ever since then, you know, since that time, Walchuk moved up to third. Randy, although he left the team, they've always stayed great friends, but there has been a huge rivalry at skip between Martin and Ferbey ever since that.
And justifiably so. It keeps them both in the game, and it has certainly raised the bar on many teams.
Could get rid of them all.
You know how I know spring is coming? The World Baseball Classics on Rogers Sportsnet. It begins March 7th with Canada against South Africa. Then March 8th, Canada against the U.S. and Canada against Mexico on the 9th. An interesting concept for baseball, the World Baseball Classic, and you can see it on Rogers Sportsnet.
Now, Rob, a lot of the pros are playing? Like a Roger Clemens?
Yes, he is. Scheduled to play for the U.S. Good team for Team Canada, managed by Ernie Witt. Buck Martinez managing the American side. We'll have it on Rogers Sportsnet.
Oh, decided to play the tough shot.
The Rays, instead of picking it out.
They were going for everything there, and I mean, even though there's a yellow in play, what's Kevin going to do with that? Nothing. He's going to have to hit it. There's no steal in his fortunes this end.
We're running out of ends. Oh yeah, well, mathematically we're still in the game.
End here.
What?
We do have a tough end.
Interesting, you know, as Kevin says, we're running out of ends. And then Randy Ferbey says, yeah, we're due to have a rough end.
Oh, yeah, this has been just, I don't know, some kind of an anachronism. I don't know what this has been about, but somehow there has been just no pressure put on by the Martin team.
And how have the men throwing the final stones fared? 72% for Kevin Martin, just 67 on his draws at 95%. Very neat little clip for Dave Netowin.
And the Martin team force efficiency was uncharacteristically low this weekend. It's at 38% near the bottom of the field. Normally, Kevin is able to force a single point 57% of the time, which is a high average.
Well, in order to force those, you need rocks in play. Don Bartlett's had 2 of his rocks pick.
What have we only really had 2 ends where there's been a lot of granite in play?
It has been one weird game.
Semifinals are like that too. Very wide open.
I mean, the last few finals that we've seen this team in, like last year in Winnipeg, that was a barn burner of a game between these two
Hands
teams.
on throat every end.
Yeah.
Big piece of something out here. Right there.
Well, I feel looking back now that Kevin has just kind of given up kind of what he was doing a little too early in a lot of these ends. You know, once things didn't materialize in the free guard zone, he's gone to the hit game. And the Ferbey team says, okay, we're ahead. We don't mind. We'll hit with you.
Yep. Well,
Kevin did hit and stay. Going to have to make Nedwin work for the blank.
Are we having a break after this end?
Well, I just feel that Kevin's got to get his other three boys together with him and have a little talk here and talk about what they're going to do in the ninth and get after it. You know, they're kind of not chatting and just firing them down there. They're not out of this if they can play a good 9th and 10th end.
Men don't communicate.
That's true, yeah. Like when we're driving down the road, do we ever stop at the gas station and ask for directions?
No.
Do we ever stop at the gas station for gas? No.
Clean.
Should be a routine peel here for David Nedwin.
And he cleans this away, and now as they take just one extra look, it is a blank end, and it will still be Randy Ferbey holding on to the hammer. 5-3 the score.
Before I won the World Series of Poker, I was an accountant. I spent about 80% of my time on the road, which meant a lot of hotel rooms. Oh, when you're on the road a lot and you're looking to play poker, it's hard.
This game in the championship between Ferbey and Martin, first end.
Yeah, it was a Ferbey team playing a little gamble there. Double roll could have made for a 3-ender, but they settled for the 2. Martin, not a happy camper right there. Off to a bad start.
Second end, Kevin Martin really needs this draw. And as you can see coming in, was it a sweeper's mistake?
And that's a steal of 1. It's a 3-0 Ferbey lead. Blank in the 3rd and into the 4th. Kevin Martin looking at too much yellow.
Well, he really had to come up with the goods here. He was already trailing 3-0 and looking at 4 counters. Had to be letter perfect as that one settles into the forfeit for a count of 1, trails at 3-1.
Ferbey took 2 in the 5th and into the 6th. Kevin Martin keeps it interesting.
Well, he finally puts 2 shots together. Great freezes from his 3rd, Don Walchuk, and they score 2.
Made it 5-3, a couple of blank ends and 7 and 8, and that's how it stands right now into the 9th. Kevin Martin curling an uncharacteristic 73% through 8. Well, Randy Ferbey's at 95% as a team through 8, and Ferbey is looking for his first Grand Slam victory. Been to a final once before.
He is looking pretty good so far. I mean, they have played a bang-on game tonight, and the Martin team has just been off.
Line's good.
This is the 3rd rock of the end.
Hard, line's a little tight.
And there's a center guard.
Okay.
Ferbey team came around. Well, it's Don Bartlett trying to follow it.
It's a better start for the Martin team this time. They got the center up.
Hard. Won't take it in. It's not in.
Ferbey definitely has controlled this game, and he still controls the hammer.
And making use of that free guard zone, which is in effect until after the 4th shot of the end is played, and then the stones can be peeled out of play up front.
Sure.
Going to play the chip shot here. Now, this is only the 4th rock of the end, so they can't totally remove either blue from play, but they can chip it around, get it off the center line.
And interesting, with even the way that Kevin Martin is playing and has been reacting to the blanks in 7 and 8, Randy Ferbey still says, you know, we've got to watch out. We might have a rough end in here, so keeping the team aware.
Back one. No. Get the back one. Oh.
He's got the back one. He pushes it
Martin
in the ring.
Trying to get that out of the rings.
He got it to the side wall. It'll go
and
back.
It'll come back, and the yellow will leave.
That's the penalty for removing a rock until after the 4th end of the 4th shot of the end has been played.
Obviously, he wasn't trying to go across the face, and Jeff Stoughton, kind of the master of that, usually goes across the face. He gave enough ice. Kevin's all over this rock. He knows he can sweep it out.
Whoops, it hits the sideboard, and the penalty is it goes back and the shooter comes off.
And that's the shooter sitting in the penalty box.
Well,
Line's
this
really
now the
good.
5th stone of the
T-line.
end, so free guard zone no longer in effect,
Lots
and
of room. Okay, we're there.
pretty much
Go,
going to
let it
see
go,
the
gotta
Ferbey
go.
team
Hey,
doing
go
some
ahead,
peeling
go
now,
ahead.
trying to
Line's
avoid
great.
the steal.
Line's great.
Now, amazingly enough, these two kings from Alberta, do you think they trade off on the games they can win and the games they can't? Kevin Martin, you can go to the Briar today. Okay, Randy Ferbey, you can win your first Grand Slam.
I don't think there's a plan like that at all. They want to win everything when they go head-to-head, don't they?
Okay, that's rip.
And amazingly enough, they never played each other in their province, you know, during their
The playdowns, huh?
provincial
Isn't that funny?
playdowns, which is highly unusual.
Yeah, they were in 2 different sides of the round robin and then never met in the playoffs. Ferbey lost out to John Morris, and then in the following game, Morris lost out to Martin.
Well, it's that time of year again. On Maryland's birthday, the Hockey Central Special Edition, the NHL trade deadline. How many trades will there be in this new NHL? It all begins at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific time. And Darren Drager and the entire Hockey Central crew will steer you through the day and the deals on Rogers Sportsnet. Usually on your birthday, isn't it a national holiday? Instead of them having programming, don't
Yeah,
they just...
everything special happens on my birthday.
Line's real good. Looks like lots of weight.
Kevin playing another center guard with Carter's first stone. Pardon me, second one.
Whoa, honey.
You want to keep it in right on the center line. Keep it high.
Keep it very high.
And this Ferbey team only gives up steals 14% of the time. That's second best on the tour. And the reason that is they got great peeling at the second position from Scott, and Randy's exceptional at cleaning off 2 or 3 stones at a time. And then they've got Netowin, who, if they are in trouble, is as good as there is at drawing the pin to save the end.
And another peel by Scott Pfeiffer.
Scott Pfeiffer's had an excellent game. He seems quite relaxed out there, and business as usual.
Oh, it was good. You threw good. No, we were. Well,
Scott
yeah,
was
a
funny
little
at the Battle of the Sexes that we did the start of the curling season in Brandon, giving a clinic. And Brandon, one of the young people, said, well, what's the rule in the role of a second? He says, well, it's very easy. You throw 2, you sweep 6, and you shut up.
All there. A lot of weight. Plenty of weight.
He's throwing his 2 very well.
Line's real good. That looks, yeah, real tight, eh?
Well, following up on that, Rob, I don't think you find a team in the world, maybe other than Lindholm from Sweden, where they've played together for 15 years, where teammates are so happy playing the position they play. Like Scott could play third or skip on any other great team, and he's happy to be a second on the Ferbey team. And that chemistry they have is so huge for the success of this team.
Yeah, and the comfort level is there with everybody in every role.
The angle's a little bit better here for getting more out of this, and if Ferbey can hit 3/4 of that, he could do some damage.
Randy Ferbey's first rock. Still holding on to the hammer.
Yep, hard.
Flanking the 7th and the 8th. Here's a little pace on this one.
Well, he cleans out a few, but hit more of that than he wanted. He wanted to roll his shooter and get the triple.
You lock it down. I don't know if it was narrow on that shot or not, Ed, but he removes his rock. Still just touches that one, but Martin's got an advantage here.
He still has an opportunity for the steal the way this is sitting. If they can position a good rock in the 4-foot.
I can go turn. Yeah. Go turn. Sure. Right here. Show him half.
Sort of half bury it.
Show him 2 cheeks.
Tease your opposition.
Well, it certainly is wake-up time for these guys. They need a steal here.
Well, the pressure is on. They know that they've got to make more of a game of this. They want to come down to that final 10th end.
Real hard line.
Hard.
Okay, let's play.
How much is it over curling? We got a guard out of this.
Damn. Well. Yep. Hard. 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 Line. Just picked again. Huh? Picked again. There's just no pebble with it. Just I don't know.
Did you make the double?
Darn. Yeah, he threw it nice. Just Like, I don't
It's
know what to do
amazing how
anymore.
one
You
team could
just-
have so many picks and the other
hard to
team
make a
not.
precise shot.
The double, you said straight back, though?
No, double.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a straight back double and there's a
Of course,
double.
there's a little bit on the
Double
line
team.
here, too, as these two sides trying to avoid getting a 1 in the wrong column.
Just off now, it's 3/4.
The Ferbster playing the short double, 2 in front.
Hard! Hard! Real hard! 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 Hard!
See if he gets any action off that, and he does.
Gets 2.
Well, that opens the 4-foot up more for his skip, Dave Nedwin.
And there in the Tour Finals this season, Randy Ferbey's 3-0, Kevin Martin 1-0, so there's a 1 going in the loss column. Great year, 02-03 for Kevin Martin, 7-0 in Tour Finals. And of course, 01-02, Ferbey didn't play on the World Curling Tour, but now getting himself involved.
And the last 5 times they've played, Kevin Martin has won 4 of them. This time in this game, Kevin's really got to struggle.
Yeah, so no finals for the Ferbey team in 01-02, but now getting the hang of it as he marches into this championship.
Go ahead. Don't want to lose it.
Well, they kept that extra clean right out of his hand.
Line only. Line's good. Might over curl if anything. No, line's pretty good.
Got a curl.
Halfway. No, that's good. Line's good. Line's good. A little more than half.
Got to get to center.
Okay, let's go. Let's go. Double time. Let's go. Good.
There's the Don Bartlett sweep call.
Yeah, and one thing I've noticed with Don tonight, he's sweeping really, really high on the brush, and that's he's just not able to get down with his back and get a lot of pressure on. He's having to stay up high.
I do.
Do we get a vote?
Nothing worse than having a bad back.
Kick ours in?
Well, no, don't worry. Just
Bad head, bad knee.
Yeah, well, when your back's hurting, you don't know what it feels like to have a good one.
You ever tick that just a little bit?
No, not much choice here. Got to peel.
This way, the worse we're going to be. We're going to have a hit, no matter what, right?
Well, in a perfect world, he could catch that about 9/10 and look to get the back one as well. And roll slightly off center line. A good camera shot there of doing work that's got to be done.
Clean. Yep.
Not looking for the double here, just the single peel, keep it open. Ooh, they're going for a little tick, a little nibbler.
Actually, well.
Add to the plot.
Well, he's made the decision. I thought maybe he might throw a tight guard and make it hard for Nedwin to draw around, but he's going to force him to make a double.
Draw.
You can hear Randy and Dave discussing what they're going to do.
Yeah.
5-3 the score, 9th end of play.
Gotta be in the ring.
Championship,
Yeah,
the Masters of Curling, from Mile 1 Stadium in St. John's, Newfoundland.
Give us line all the way. We just want to bite center.
Well, there are a
Same
couple
line.
of reasons to have this one in the rings. First of all, it is a guard, but you want the guard in the rings. Number one, that pretty much takes away the blank. If Nedwin makes a double, he'll probably have to stay in the rings when he executes that double, and Martin would be 3 down coming home with a chance, a small chance, but a chance to get 3. And if Nedwin elects to draw, well, then he's drawing against 2 rather than 1. If he misses that, it's a steal of 2. So
Line's real nice.
they want this top ring.
Top 12. Line's real nice.
You can't go deeper than
Top
that,
12.
because then you make it real easy for Nedwin
Okay,
to
well then.
even blank the end.
All there.
This
So
is
a lot of
curling.
curling. A lot of curling.
You ready, Carter?
Well, he took a ton of ice.
Whoa,
Go, 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 go! Go!
Good, good.
Gotta leave it enough so that he covers his shot rock. David Nedwin will want to take a look.
Yeah, that pretty much took away the draw. That looks like they just want to force Dave to have to play the double.
And this will then make it interesting again, as Kevin Martin, as they say, is running out of racetrack.
Well, there's a couple shots here. There's enough room to zing through the intern hole and hit shot stone.
I think he'll go for the double. I wish they'd put the broom down. They decided 5 minutes ago, though.
That is the double.
Yes.
Well, Netowin has been razor sharp tonight.
Well, he's playing it straight back rather than over the top.
Last rock of the ninth end. Ferbey's team leading 5-3.
Big weight for Netowin.
He could leave a whimper of a hope for Martin or not.
He got it.
And he gets the double, counts one. It's 6-3. So Dave Netowin makes a big shot in the ninth. It's only one, but his time is starting to run out.
Well, you don't leave shots like this for David Netowin, and you know, there's either a whimper or there's nothing. And it looks like for Martin, he's got his work cut out for him.
So for Kevin Martin, he's got the hammer in the 10th, but he trails by 3. Will be seen on Rogers Sportsnet April 15th and 16th. We'll have quarterfinal action, semifinal action, and the final as well. Ticketmaster.ca or 403-269-9822 for ticket information. It's at the Stampede Corral in Calgary.
No, we're playing on the 32nd floor of that one building.
And young curling fans here at mile 1, watching these two Alberta teams and apparently still working on her whistle. Marilyn, you've got a pretty good whistle, don't you?
I definitely have a very sharp whistle.
Give her some lessons.
I do, and I'm going to be in Calgary the weekend before we go to the Players' Championship. I'm going to be playing at the Calgary club.
We'll go golfing.
No, I'm not going to be golfing. I'll be busy. I'm curling on Cheryl Bernard's cure for breast cancer, and we'll be all out there. But I'm staying at your house. I just want you to know Judy's making the bed for me.
There you go. Life doesn't get much better for you, does it, Lukowicz?
Look what I got to look forward to.
10th end of play in the final of the Masters of Curling. $30,000 first prize money, $18,000 to the runner-up. And this game has really belonged to Randy Ferbey. A deuce in the first end, a steal of 1 in the second, and it's taken Kevin Martin most of this game to really figure it out, and he's still having trouble.
Well, that one picked as well and curled way over by the corner, and it might be useless as a corner guard as it couldn't be out too far out of play.
That's very frustrating, and that is a real shame. You still want to see your lead, Donnie Bartlett, one of the greatest leads here. Just frustrating for him.
And he just peels that away. Scott Pfeiffer has had himself a pretty good game.
How do you hide a bunch behind that one?
Yeah.
I think he's trying to make it hard for Netowin and Randy Ferbey to peel.
Line's pretty tight.
Yeah, gotta go.
Line's pretty tight, guys. Go hard.
To get around it.
Don't tell him he's going to rack
hard.
On the
We're
top
going to run out of building here.
Might be good, actually.
Hard.
Well, they're just going to need bigger rings to be able to use that corner guard. Way over by the boards.
Shot. It's just, there's no need for it.
He's been good.
Yep.
A little more cleanup.
Darn good. Lefty Scotty peels that one out. It's just a countdown now, a numbers game. Even if Martin manages to bury one behind that corner, the Ferbey team just can play either or, get the back one or the front one.
It's go hard to get this one over too. Let's go. Your last sweep, man. It's your last sweep, right?
And coming up after curling, it is Sportsnet News with Mike Toth and Sean McCormick. Complete rundown on the weekend in sports. The Olympics have come to a close, and they'll talk about them getting ready to move to Vancouver 2010, the Winter Games. Next Olympic Games are in Beijing in 2008. Summer Games. Highlights from this game.
And for those games in Vancouver 2010, they'll be building a new curling arena somewhere close to the vicinity of the old Vancouver Curling Club. The building designated to hold about 6,000. And long way down the road, 4 years, but time does run by quickly.
That will be one exciting venue for all the curlers in Canada. It will be huge for the team that gets to represent our country.
We're looking forward to it. Rogers Sportsnet involved in the coverage of the Olympics of 2010. Don Walchuk delivers.
Line's real good. Just make sure it's to the tee.
Lots of weight.
Okay, whoa then. Lots of room. Line's real good. Just.
And you look at a lot of these shows. Look at how high Bartlett is on that broom tonight, and he's not sweeping rocks at the end very much. And that back of his must be just killing him tonight. He hasn't been able to get much in the sweep, and maybe that's been a big reason for a lot of their picks. He hasn't been able to put much early pressure on the sweep.
Tucks that around the guard, but the guard is going to disappear if the.
I got to put the shield of steel out there now.
And many of them.
Yep. Whoa!
Maybe get the back one.
Wow, that did touch the boards first before it hit the stone in the rings.
So they will put the blue back.
Wow, they are making use of this lowly, distant corner guard. Is there room for another?
Well, that's amazing. You know, you don't think that Randy Ferbey is ever going to miss a PO, and you could just see it right there touching the sponge.
Can I even hit the back one?
Now see if Don Walchuk can repeat that shot.
Same weight. Okay. It's a little bit more room.
The Martin team needing a 3-spot here in the 10th to tie.
Gonna have to let it go.
Well, at least they might be able to make it interesting if they can get another one behind this corner.
Let it go.
A little heavier.
Yep.
Waiting for it to move.
Don't sweep it through. Yep. Hard.
It's not curling the same.
They're trying to get behind it.
Right up, Carter.
Get behind the other one.
You're shooting, Don.
Wow.
Nice.
And to think a corner guard would generate something like that.
Away corner guard. That's the far corner.
Yeah. Swap in a bit.
That one in there.
A little wider. A little wider now.
Kevin Martin called that corner guard just the way it was.
Stayed out there.
Bumper down? Yeah.
Well, that's not normally where you see the action, is it, Ed?
Well, no, for sure not. And for Dave Nedwin, just wants to make a play on this rock. I mean, here you'd like to hit and roll here and actually stay. Then Martin would only play with me to hit and try and roll in behind. If Martin throws it well, he's only counting one. He needs 3 here.
Dave Nedwin's first rock in the 10th.
Not throwing a whole lot of weight here. We've seen this curl so many times today. He cannot afford to hit the guard.
And he gets the hit and roll.
Geez, he rolled just where you told him to, Ed.
Martin can draw in behind, or he could play the freeze.
He's going to draw up behind. Completely ignore it. Nedwin has to go after it, or he can draw to the open side.
Well, that's exactly the same ice they had for the last stone, and last stone didn't curl a lot.
Got to make this.
See if he narrows it up a little bit when he gets into the hack.
Make it interesting.
Martin on draw is only 76% tonight.
Well, he's happy with the ice, curling 76% on his draws through 9.
Lots of room.
Line's pretty good. A little tight. Go. Line only.
Room.
Okay, line's good.
Room. Lots of room.
Lots of room. No, there's not lots of room. Go. 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 We're going to run out of rings. Go. Come on.
Hard.
Go. Go, 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 go.
Hard.
Hard.
Got to get it there first.
Good shot.
Oh, what a beautiful shot.
2 nibblers there on the edge of the 12 behind that corner guard, which if you were to ask them at the start, would it be important? You'd say, nah, look at that where it is.
Well, the thing is they played 2 great shots there. Ed, but he can just come right down and throw it into the open side, and as long as it's second shot.
But it's got to be straight across because we know Kevin Martin is capable of doubling anything in the world when there's an angle.
Absolutely.
Finally, a glimmer of hope here for the listless Martin team.
There was a glimmer of hope in the 9th, too.
Dave Nedouin has had his A game with him tonight. 98% on hits, 95 on draws through 9 ends.
And Huff and Puff are going to have to position this one perfectly. Well, two of the best in the business sweeping this one down. They're going to have to get it absolutely straight across.
Square him up. It's all yours.
Square it straight across to avoid a double.
Dave announces it's all yours to Pfeiffer and Rock.
Come on, every inch, every inch.
It's far apart.
Well, he did it. He did it. Wow.
Now what do you do?
One shot possible.
And the one shot is shake hands. There's no way he can get 3. It will be a victory, the first Grand Slam victory for Randy Ferbey's team. He will claim the title and a little bit of revenge after losing in Winnipeg last year at the Canadian Open. Now the Masters belongs to Randy Ferbey, Dave Nedouin, Scott Pfeiffer, and Marcel Rock.
You're feeling a little bit better after watching that.
We'll come back to wrap things up from mile 1 in St. John's.
Love you guys. Hi, Gabby, Bella. See you soon. Feels pretty good. Really does.
90% and would not allow Kevin Martin any opportunity to get back into the game. Coming up next, Sportsnet News with Toth and McCormick on East, on Ontario, on West, and on Pacific. A full look at a very busy weekend in sports and, of course,